And he kept doubling the price and kept doubling the price until finally the buyer went. But Allah rewarded him for his righteousness with his father. And he didn't give him the cow because of the fact that he knew that it was not under his charge. Now this has also been related from Wahab ibn Munabbih in a long hadith that yes, the man was righteous to his parents and he used to bear great difficulties. And when it was time to sell the cow, he sold it 2/3 higher than what it was worth. He gave his father 1/3 and gave his mother 1/3, and the remaining 1/3 was for himself. His mother said to him one day, "I've inherited from your father a cow. You have left on the cow the name of Allah. When the cow should come, if you call it in the name of the God of Ibrahim, and it goes, then that cow then becomes the property of your mother. If it stays and it speaks, then it shall be mine, it shall be yours." It was then said, "Bring the matter to me." And the matter came, and the cow wound up staying with the boy. It's also mentioned of this matter that the mother said to the boy one day, "O righteous one," to his mother. "O righteous one," to his mother. Once the cow said to him, "O righteous one," to his mother, "If you were to ride me, you would not be able to. So stay away. And if you were to command a mountain to move from its place, it would be more likely to move from its place than that you should disrespect the honor of your mother." So he later brought the cow back to his mother, and he later gave that cow to his mother, and an angel was sent to him by Allah asking him, "How much did you come with this cow to give to your mother? How much is this cow worth?" And he said, "It is worth 3 dinar. And the angel said to him, "Well, you shall have 6 because of your righteousness." But at first he refused. And then he returned to his mother and informed her. And she said, "If that's the case, sell it for 6. I'm happy with that." The angel came and said, "Actually, take 12. And he didn't want to do that, so he refused, and he returned to his mother, and he informed her of it, and she said, "Oh, my son, that is an angel. Tell him, what price do you order us to sell this for?" He came to the angel, and he said that to him, and the angel said, "Young boy, this cow shall be bought by Musa ibn Imran in order to find out who has killed someone among the children of Israel. And then you shall know its value." Close quote. So we see then that this cow has a worth. Its worth is very important because of a noble job it's going to be used for. Although when you think of the cow, it seems lowly because its head is low, it's eating from the grasses, it's very big. If you've ever seen cows close up or been around them, sometimes you might not think much of them. But it's because the cow is being used for a noble purpose. It's being treated well. It's being looked after. It's worth quite a high price. And you notice the angel keeps doubling the price to emphasize, because it's been sent by Allah, to emphasize the greatness of what that cow is going to be used for. And so when you understand that, the rest of this story, the pieces start to come together. So because a man had been murdered from the children of Israel, a righteous man, by his nephew, Allah then orders the children of Israel to slaughter a cow to show them by Allah's miraculous sign, "I will show you who has murdered the one among you." And so they start wrangling among themselves because obviously they're scared. They almost didn't slaughter it because they're thinking, if we slaughter this, we're going to find out who killed this man. Those who were from the innocent tribe that were among the killer, were worried because they thought, what if it's realized that we were there and didn't do anything? And then the murderer himself is concerned because obviously he'll be exposed. So from all sides, those who were involved from the children of Israel were deeply concerned. And so this is the theme that we come to. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم استغفر الله إن الله غفور رحيم يرحم الراحمين. Inshallah, now what we will do is we will break for Salat al-Maghrib, and after Salat al-Maghrib we will promptly we'll promptly pick up on where we left at. We have come to the end of Ayah 71, and inshallah we will pick up from Ayah 72 and find out what exactly happened when they finally used the cow, benefited from it, and then brought the matter to a head and solved the murder, inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem wa ba'd. Imam Ibn Al-Jawzi rahimahullah, he says, quote, "And so when the Exalted One has told us all of these words, we can put that with the statement where Allah has said, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبُوهُ بِبَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ." And when you killed a soul, then you differed about the matter regarding it. Allah certainly brought out that which you had been concealing. Surat Al-Baqarah, Ayah 72. The statement, when you killed a soul, this ayah is an ellipsis in which the beginning of the story about the command to slaughter the cow is actually connected with this. This is the actual reason why it was done. So when they had killed a soul from among themselves, then they differed in the matter therein. They asked Musa, this is as if it is being said to them, when you killed a soul, then you differed in the matter, then you asked Musa. And then Allah says, indeed Allah has commanded you that you slaughter a cow. So this is the same thing as what had been said in other ayahs. Like when Allah had said, وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ عِوَجًا وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ عِوَجًا. Surat Al-Kahf, Ayat 1 and 2, in which Allah says, قِيمًا, meaning that Allah sent down the book as a testifier and rectifier, not making any difficulty therein. So sometimes in the speech of Allah, Allah will use language in which the ending of the narrative gives the reason for the beginning information. Close quote. Now this is what's important here. Sometimes in the Qur'an, when people will read from the speech of Allah, they'll say, this part seems confusing because this part's here talking about when they killed a human soul, and then they're told to slaughter a cow here. Why were they told to slaughter a cow? Because of this part of the story. In Arabic, it is well known that sometimes to add power to a story, to a narrative, or to a moral, you will give the reason for the thing happening at the end of all the events that came before. You'll see it sometimes in English with fables. And those things aren't true. This is the speech of Allah. So you'll see sometimes in this language of English that someone will narrate a whole series of events. And then at the end of it, the person will say, and so the moral of the story is, that's why you don't do this. Or do you see, when you cheat people in their money, this is what happened to, and they mention the protagonist in the story. Well, in narratives in Revelation, Allah does the same thing. He will use all of this information, this whole narrative, and you're thinking, this is so amazing. Look at what's happened. They were told to do this, then they refused to do it, then they didn't do this, then they did this, then they did that. And then at the end of it, when you read, and when you killed, Allah didn't say, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتَ to the murderer. That when you killed, just you, he said, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ when you, because those who saw it and did nothing were just as culpable as the one who did it. And this comes into a well-known principle in revealed law of corporate punishment. You may care to write it down, it's up to you. But it's called corporate punishment. This is where a group of people will receive the same punishment, although they're taking part in the crime was on different levels. This is one of the proofs Ali used when Umar radiallahu anhu came to him as Khalifa. Ali is the Qadi of the Ummah. And he said, there have been some people in Sana'a in Yemen, that have committed a murder. There were 6 of them that assisted one another. And Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu recited a number of passages, this being one of them, and said, all 6 of them are to be punished. All 6 of them are to be executed. Whether it's the one that held the sheet, the one that gave the address, the one that dealt the final blow, the one that said kill him, the one that did this, the one that did that. And Umar radiallahu anhu famously said, if all of Sana'a had taken part in the murder, I would have killed the whole city. In revealed law, corporate responsibility is held. In murder, we were just following orders. Why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you say anything? When the Prophet Musa alayhi salam came back, remember when he saw the idolatry? He grabbed his brother, but his brother absolved himself from any corporate punishment by saying what? First, he found him tied up. Secondly, he said, they forced me. I didn't do anything. I was tied up. There was nothing I could do. And what happened to the people that had committed idolatry? Those who had helped to gather the dust, those who had gathered the gold, all of them were executed. So it left a small portion of men and a plethora of women and females that hadn't taken part in it. Women and girls. This is what happens. They were all punished the same. Because in the revealed law, it's not so much the part you played, but the severity of what you did. The severity of what you did. It's not so much of what part you played. Well, I only held the basket when they held it over his head and they killed him. I just held the basket so he couldn't see. Surely that's less severe than the one that stabbed him repeatedly with the knife. Or surely the one that used the ice pick is worse than the one that purchased it for. When talking about the punishment of the revealed law, none of that matters. But in terms of the sight of Allah on how that person will be dealt with on the day of resurrection, indeed there are levels and ranks of people. But for the punishment of the revealed law, no. Rape cases in the revealed law. Again, people here didn't mention anything about this, but there had been a rape case in 87 in which a Muslim sister had been gang raped in the Khalij, in the Gulf. And the judges gathered together all the evidence and the proofs and everything else. And they killed every single person that was involved. Now, different newspapers, some narrated 7, some narrated 10 men lost their lives. And they were saying, oh, you can't do this. This is barbaric. What are you doing? You've killed this many men. One of them was sitting in the other room and he was only watching the door. He loses his life. Then the other people that are raping, these treated the same as them? What type of law is this? And when the press shoved the microphone in the face of the Qadi, he said, ask that to the woman. Get the point?